Bienvenue! Today we dive into the pixie dust world of Disneyland Paris, where fairy tales come to life and every corner holds a new adventure. Bonjour, fellow travelers to Earstravagent Adventures, your portal to the world of magical travel. I'm Rachel, and alongside Abby and Mackenzie, we're your guides to the enchanting realms of Disney, Universal, and beyond. Join us to uncover hidden treasures, behind-the-scenes tales, and insider tips that'll transform vacations into extraordinary escapades. From planning perfection to savoring culinary delights, we're your go-to source for all things magical. Whether you're a lifelong fan or a first-time explorer, Earstravagent Adventures is your awaited journey. Tune in every other week as we unlock a world of wonder and memories. Welcome aboard, adventurers. And threw in some French today. I know a little bit. Yeah, bonjour. So today we're going to talk about Disneyland Paris. Very excited for this. But before we do, we have some theme park news. One just dropped like 2 hours ago. I'm very excited about this. Tiana's Palace opens September 7th at Disneyland Park.
That is so soon. Like
so soon.
Like especially when you think about Tron. This was fast, guys.
We're not talking about Tron. Tron took 20 years to make.
Oh, it took light years, some would say.
Nice.
So I was there in May, and it was I just can't believe that they turned it around this quickly. So I feel like I need another trip.
And didn't it just close in May?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, this is the last day I will be in the parks that day. And I think they said it's going to have mobile orders. So I'll be able to try it. And then we can talk about it on the next episode.
Yes.
Yay. Abby, can you help us out with another Disneyland announcement?
Yeah, the Ashoka meet and greet. I know you guys are not so much into Star Wars. I'm not even sure I'm totally into Star Wars, but my sons are. So I can tell you that is a new meet and greet. A lot of people have been asking about that. I think one of the things too people forget about Galaxy's Edge is it is in the post Skywalker phase of the timeline. So I'm really glad to see them adding more meet and greets, right? We have Mando now walking around, and Ashoka is in the correct timeline as well. So nice update.
Yeah, I know I'm not excited about it, but other people are, and that's just wonderful.
My kids are.
And yes, and Disneyland released their Halloween treats and popcorn buckets, and Disneyland always just says, hold my beer when they release their stuff. They've got the mini Hocus Pocus sipper, the Mickey skeleton popcorn bucket, zero popcorn bucket. There's all these other little novelties, but then of course all the churros, all the food, it was a huge article, and I'm excited. There's a pork belly something or other at Hungry Bear, I think. All of it looks really good. Did you guys have a chance to look at any of it?
I don't know if I've perused the entire list yet, so I am trying to pull it up. I thought I saw some sort of poison apple sipper.
Oh.
Did you see that?
Oh, yes, the iridescent black poison apple goblet. Yes.
Yes. Wasn't that awesome?
I need them all. But also, at Disney World, and I agree the Disneyland ones you mentioned are way better. The haunted, carriage one is so cute. I'm not a huge popcorn or sipper collector. I have maybe 2 popcorn buckets total. I don't have any sippers. These made me reconsider my stance on the situation.
I have 2 sippers, and the only reason I have 2, one is the Donald candy corn one, obviously, because I'm a Donald stan, obviously.
That was a great one.
Yeah, and then the other one is the Mickey balloon sipper that they had.
I'm a real sucker for the vintage looking Mickey balloons where it's not the ears inside the second balloon. It's just the ears. Love that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Donald is back too.
Oh, yeah, but it glows in the dark this time instead. So I don't know what's different about it. I'll have to actually look because I have mine. I think it's slightly different, not significant enough for me to have been I need to buy another one because I don't need 2 of the same thing. Right. But yeah, it's cute. It's cute. Donald is cute. I love Donald's.
There's a Mike Wazowski topper, which I feel like I need. We're big Monsters Inc. fans, so.
And they don't get enough love, so I feel like having him, and he's a perfect Halloween character. He's a monster.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, I love it. And
Might
then
be a foreshadowing of my kids' Halloween costumes.
oh, there you go. Our last piece of news is Mirabelle's meet and greet date is announced. So September 15th, she's going to officially start greeting next to Cinderella Castle. And she is going to be replaced in the adventure float by Bruno. I kind of wish we had a Bruno meet and greet instead of him on a float. What do you guys think?
Yes. But I think the problem, oh, Mackenzie, go ahead.
So I love, yes, I have strong feelings about this. So I love that Mirabelle's coming, but I am so sad to see Merida go. I think that is one of the best meet and greets. When we were there, she just like yells and at like all the guests, and it's like just totally authentic. I thought she was so great, and I'm sad to see her go.
I think she's still in Magic Kingdom. I think she's at the gazebo place, but like it takes away. Her? Yeah, but I mean, I love her area with all like the archery stuff that they have, and I love meeting Merida. 100%, I agree with you. And I'll be interested to see what Mirabelle does, but she's not in my head as engaging as Merida.
No, Merida's the bomb.
Yeah, I also think like it's tough. It's a tough look for like a less loved character, right? Because like I like to see diversity. Nah, Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty don't do anything for me. So I like the inclusion of lesser known characters. I'm sorry, I know it's a hot take. It's a hot take. But I also feel like with Bruno, it's tough. It's tough with the characters who look like humans because the Bruno actors don't look a tremendous amount like Bruno. So I think you sort of have to keep him up on the float because people are going to, I know my kid would be like, that doesn't really look like Bruno to me.
Yeah, that's fair. If you meet a character that you can see their face and they don't look a tremendous, even with the princesses though, like if they don't have the right face shape, you're kind of like, oh, well.
Yeah, there definitely have been some where I'm like, ooh, like one of my kids is like, you're not Snow White.
I can see your kids doing that too.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the news that we have. Not a whole lot, but some exciting updates. And Tiana's Palace, stay tuned because I will have a review of it. Hopefully, it's a Thursday that it's opening, so hopefully, like when we go earlier in the day, it won't be crazy busy. It is an Oogie Boogie Bash night, and we're going to Oogie Boogie Bash that night. So stay tuned for all the trip updates. But Abby, where'd you get those ears?
Factory 55.
Factory 55.
Mm-hmm.
I like the bow. What made you pick that color?
So there's so many good options. Honestly, it was really hard choosing. I love the Little Mermaid. So this is like my little but Beauty and the Beast is my favorite. So I have my little nod to the Little Mermaid, and then my Beauty and the Beast series. But honestly, like I know the camera's not like giving it the full effect, but I also like the two-tone like purple and green glitter.
There's purple in there?
Mm-hmm. It's definitely like not.
The bow?
I can see the green.
It's like purple sequins and green sequins. It's
I've made skirts out of that before. It's an amazing fabric. Like when the sun hits it, it's 100% dark mermaid vibes. Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
So
love it.
There you go.
Mackenzie, where'd you get your ears?
These I got a few years ago for a Christmas trip from a designer I found on Instagram, and I was trying to look her up to give her a shout out, but she no longer makes ears to the best of my knowledge.
That's such a bummer because those for our listeners that are not viewers, they have champagne glasses on them, and they're nice black and gold with a beautiful gold sequin bow. Yep. So those are really cute.
And these are actually pretty comfortable, so you can wear them for a little bit longer. That's compared to my ones from 2 weeks ago, which I could not wait to take off my head.
Yeah, and that's what I'll say about mine. Mine are Disney parks. These are actually Disneyland Paris, circa their 25th anniversary, so about 5 years ago, before they started really making merchandise. But on the side, it says Disneyland Paris, and they are not comfortable at all.
Yeah.
But I love them. You can't go wrong with black and gold.
Nope.
No, it's a classic.
I found, I mean, it doesn't fit me anymore, but I found for my very first Disneyland Paris shirt, and now at my son Asher wears it, and it still says Euro Disney.
Nice.
Vintage,
nice. That's vintage.
Yep.
So before we get into Disneyland Paris, a quick update from our sponsors. So let's take a moment to thank our friends at Alonzi Travel, your go-to experts in family theme park travel. If you've ever tried planning a trip to a theme park with the whole family, you know it can feel like an overwhelming roller coaster ride. That's where Alonzi Travel comes in. Alonzi Travel specializes in creating unforgettable family vacations to the most magical theme parks around the world. They've got years of experience, so they're like the ultimate fast pass to a stress-free travel planning. With Alonzi Travel, they'll handle all the nitty-gritty details so you can focus on what truly matters, having a blast with your loved ones. Plus, Alonzi Travel knows the ins and outs of every major theme park. Whether you and your family dream of wandering the enchanted corridors of Hogwarts at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, or exploring the iconic lands of Disneyland, they've got you covered. They'll work closely with you, tailoring your trip to fit your family's needs, preferences, and budget. It's like having your very own magical travel genie. If you're ready to leave the stress and hassle behind and embark on an unforgettable family theme park adventure, head over to Alonzi Travel's website at alonzi-travel.com/takethetrip and take that first step towards a vacation full of excitement, laughter, and precious memories. Yay! So today, talk about one of our parks that's on Mackenzie's bucket list. So Mackenzie, take it away.
Yes. So my husband and I, when we were having our first child, had a baby moon planned for April of 2020. So wah wah.
Oh.
So we were in the beginning stages of planning our Disneyland Paris trip and didn't get much further than those, initial let's book the flights and dates. So I am going to be interviewing the two of you because you both have been, and I want to hear all about it so that I can convince Steve that we need to go. Okay, so when was your last Disneyland Paris trip?
Me?
Yeah.
I went in 2019.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, you're lucky. I went in 2014.
Awesome. Okay, so did you guys stay on site?
Yes, both times I've been, 2016 and 2019, I went for the Disneyland Paris race weekend, which RIP, Run Disney, if you're listening, please bring that back. It was literally the best race weekend in the entire world. It needs to come back. So yeah, we stayed on site because that way we could walk. Well, I ran, my husband didn't. So I could walk to the start line.
We did not stay on site, but also my very first trip, as I was saying, was when it was still Euro Disney and there were no hotels on site at all. So both times I stayed in the city, but that's a fun part about Disneyland Paris. It is accessible by metro.
Yeah, so that was actually my next question. So it's not actually located in Paris. How far is it outside of the city?
It depends on which train you're able to take. There's an express train that takes about 30 minutes, or it can take up to an hour. Disneyland Paris is technically in Val d'Europe, and the station you would go to is Chessy. For all my clients, though, I always recommend they just stay on site because I don't want to deal with the Paris metro traffic in the morning to get to the park. I just want to get up and get going. So that's why I never stay off site, because I'm at Disney. I want to go, and I don't want to deal with the metro situation.
Yeah, I think when we go next time, I'll definitely stay on site. I think it just always depends, like what kind of trip you're taking and who you're with and how into Disney they are. So I think next time it would be a different leg.
And so how many parks are there?
2. And that's a common misconception. It's Disneyland Paris Park and then Walt Disney Studios Park, which has the Avengers campus now.
Okay. And then any sort of like dining area or anything like our downtown Disney or Disney Springs?
It's not comparable. Disney Village. Disney Village is actually undergoing a huge renovation right now. So they're revamping a lot of things that are down there, but it's weird like the way that the shops are set up and the parking situation. It's Disney Village, and honestly, the best way I can describe it for anyone who's been to Disneyland California, it's very similar to that. The parks and the proximity and everything, the setup, it's basically identical. Everything in Paris is just spread out a little bit more. So instead of a 3-minute walk from Disneyland to California Adventure, it's a 5-minute walk from Walt Disneyland to Walt Disney Studios. So it's just a little more spaced out, and there's a little less, especially food wise.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess like this is the thing, right? Like you're in Paris, sort of nearby, but the food is not like it is in the city of Paris.
So it's Disney food?
It's worse.
Theme park food? No. Oh, really?
Worse.
It's theme park food.
No, I would say it's, you think, I would eat Magic Kingdom food before I would encourage Disneyland Paris food.
Ooh,
Fair
okay.
enough.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Like, there's a couple restaurants that are there that are good, but overall, I think the food is really disappointing, especially when you're in Paris Metro. It is a letdown. But if you go in with that mindset, then you might be like, oh, this isn't that bad. But I tell my clients ahead of time, like, expect the food to be trash. So that way when they eat it, they're like, oh.
It's edible.
Yeah.
And is that snack, quick service, table service across the board? Or are you saying, you know, there's one better than another? What do you recommend for your clients?
Mostly across the board, but Bistro Chez Remy is good. Aubergine, which is where you can meet the princesses, that's good. Waltz is good. And then the new restaurant, Manhattan, at the New York Hotel, that's good. And Pim Test Kitchen. There are stuff that I do recommend, yes. But by and large, it's like, I mean, I guess you can compare it to Magic Kingdom food.
Okay.
Wouldn't you say so, Abby?
Yeah. And Hollywood Studios. Those
And
are
Hollywood Studios, but not Epcot and not Animal Kingdom.
Fair.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you said the two parks are, oh, were we going to say something, Rachel?
No.
Oh, so the two parks, how far are they from each other? You said a little bit more than 3 minutes, a little bit more than the Disneyland setup.
Yeah, I would say like maybe 5 minutes. They're still close together, but the thing I liked about Disneyland Paris is the parks are bigger. They have a bigger footprint. As we've talked about before, Disneyland California has a lot to do, but it's super compact. Disneyland Paris has about the same amount of stuff, just it's a bigger footprint. So you have room to breathe.
Got it. Okay. And then where are the hotels in comparison to the parks?
Kind of just like Disneyland California. They're not connected. Well, there's one that's connected, but it's not open right now. The Disneyland Hotel is under a top to bottom refurbishment. It should be opening next year. But the other hotels, it depends on which one. So Sequoia Lodge and Newport Bay and the Art of Marvel, New York, are all 15 minutes or less walking from the entrance to the parks, which you have to go through Disney Village to get there. Santa Fe and Cheyenne, those are by bus, and they do have shuttle transportation. You could walk it. You could. I don't know if I would, but you could.
Okay.
Anything is possible if you try hard enough.
Yeah, that's true.
And so you said shuttles. Any other types of transportation on property?
Your feet.
Your feet. Okay.
Yeah.
No monorails, no boats, no Skyliners.
No, because there's no need for that. They have water, but you couldn't do a boat. It wouldn't make sense to do a boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So when you are starting the planning process with your clients, how many days do you say that you typically need for Disneyland Paris?
Well, the interesting thing there is when you're booking a Disneyland Paris vacation, you don't get to pick how many park days. It's just assigned based on how many days you'll be there. So if you have a 3-night stay, you get a 4-day ticket. It's basically like your tickets are free. So
Included.
Yeah, they're included. They're not an extra cost. So I say minimum 2 days.
Okay.
But I say that because there's 2 parks, and then you can not feel, I don't like to feel super rushed. So I say 2 days to not feel super rushed. But if you're with Abby's group and you're staying in Paris and not everybody wants to do Disneyland Paris, you could do it in a day. I don't encourage that. What do you think, Abby?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is also, by the way, how I feel about Disneyland in California. Like, could you do it in a day? Sure, but that's not how I would want to do it. It's nice to have more time. It's nice to do things more than once, even. So I definitely agree. I think 2 days is a good starting point. I think 3 days would be honestly even better. Go at a little bit more of a relaxed pace. But yes, if you are going with non-Disney fans and they're more interested in the art and the culture of Paris or whatever, or you are or can tack on a couple extra days at the end or beginning of your trip, to sort of make it its own leg of the trip. I think that is ideal.
Okay. And so my other question is about the tickets. So are you looking at base tickets, at park hoppers? Do you have the option? Is there anything else that would be included in tickets? We're not talking water parks nearby, so.
I don't think you can get a regular ticket. I think it has to be a park hopper. But just like all of us recommend at Disneyland California, why would you not get a park hopper? It's so close. It's so convenient. And then you're not, I don't want to say stuck at Walt Disney Studios, but Walt Disney Studios to me is very much California Adventure, where there is stuff to do, but there's not nearly as much stuff to do there as there is at Disneyland. So once you do that stuff, if you didn't have a park hopper, you'd be like, well, my day is done. But having a park hopper, you can flop back and forth.
Yes.
Okay. So let's kind of go into the park. So if you were going to Disneyland Paris for the first time, what park are you starting at? How are you starting your day?
Disneyland. First of all, because I'm staying on site, that means I get early entry. And at Disneyland Paris, it is still an hour. Thank you. So I'm definitely doing early entry. And I'm going to be riding the stuff that is special to Disneyland Paris. And I say special, like the rides are superior. Except for one. Abby will ride the one that I won't ride. I'm not going to ride Hyperspace Mountain because it's a real roller coaster. It's not like Space Mountain here where I will ride that. Yeah, I won't do that.
But also, I mean, I know, right? It's like you're not wrong. Like the track is inherently different, but like when Disneyland makes theirs Hyperspace Mountain, which I guess we would call Hyperspace Mountain Light, I find it to be like so much of a better experience, even just like the difference in the music and like the lights and everything. So yes, Hyperspace Mountain is superior.
Yeah, so this is not Hyperspace Mountain like at Disneyland. Disneyland, when they do it, it's a Star Wars overlay. But in Paris, it is, what is it? Isn't it supposed to be like,
it's a Star Wars overlay. They play the theme song, but like other than that, it's the same sort of like different pace in like music and the lights. And yes, the track is different. It's a better ride. It's a better ride.
No, but isn't the one in Disneyland Paris supposed to be themed to like 1982, George Orwell's 1982? It's very like steampunk.
Yes, right. It's different music. The lighting effects are different.
And it's
a better
straps
ride.
You in with the over your chest, right? Because it goes upside down, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a different thing.
Yeah,
sure.
it's 100% different. Yeah, so prepare yourself. But the other things I like to ride there, Pirates of the Caribbean, I think is better. Big Thunder Mountain, I think is better. And Phantom Manor is amazing. Phantom Manor is their version of Haunted Mansion, but it's
5 minutes.
Yeah, it's very different. It's very different.
So better than Disneyland or better than Disney World Pirates and better?
Absolutely better than Disney World. I think Rachel might think that Pirates is better at Disneyland Paris. For me, there's like a nostalgia OG factor to the Disneyland California one. Rachel, what do you think?
Yeah, I take my nostalgia out of it when I
Impossible.
I know, but you went to Disneyland so much as a kid. I haven't. So like I don't have the same nostalgia as you. So that's why I think Pirates and Phantom Manor are better at Disneyland Paris, because I just don't have the same level of nostalgia as a lot of Disney fans do. So I just
Phantom Manor better than either Haunted Mansion. But yeah, I like California, but they both blow Disney World out of the water. It's not even a competition.
Yeah. And then a lot of their rides are in French, which is a nice, I don't know, nice, but it's different. It's unique. I like hearing stuff in other languages. So they have the Snow White and Peter Pan, and it's all in French. It's a Small World is in French. It's a Small World is not as good. So I will go ahead and throw that out there. do go see it. It's not as Mary Blair, so it's not as like as amazing. It's still fun though. I always write It's a Small World. That's like my thing. I know not everybody is a It's a Small World fan.
You cannot go to a Disney property and not write It's a Small World. That is sacrilege. But Mary Blair makes it for me. So that's
the Disneyland one until I go to the Asian parks is number one.
Yeah.
But
I like Dumbo.
I don't ride Dumbo. But the two things that are very uniquely Disneyland Paris, number one, Maleficent is underneath the castle, and you can go see her in all of her trying to fire breathe glory. She does move around. She does breathe smoke. She gets pissed at you. So she's definitely there. And then they have an Alice in Wonderland maze. Huh?
Right. I was gonna say, and that's also just like a big difference. Like there is something to the castle.
Yes. And you can go up into the castle. When we were there, it's not always open, but I did get to go last time, and you get to go up and you can see the story of Sleeping Beauty told through art. Sometimes it's mosaic, sometimes it's a tapestry, sometimes it's a statue, but you just see her story told up through the castle, and it's amazing.
Nice. I love that castle.
They don't do that everywhere, to be honest. Like that, just being able to like actually interact with the castle, which is so iconic, is just that's a big deal to me.
And fun fact about that castle, one of the big things with France, letting them build it, is it had to be actually made of castle material. It couldn't be made of, styrofoam? What's it? Yeah.
Plaster, styrofoam, right, yeah.
So it's a real chateau.
Very nice. Let's talk about some of the other lands surrounding the castle. Where do you start? What other lands do you go to in the morning, I guess I should say?
Honestly, I don't know, Abby, if you're this way. I just go where the wind takes me and what I feel like, because I haven't been there enough. I always start out going to Main Street getting castle picks. Always, I can't help it. But then I just kind of go where I feel like and what I want to do that day. And it's a lot of walking around just because I think the park is beautiful. But I like to start in Fantasyland if given the choice.
Abby, same?
I think I generally do that anyway. So yeah, I'll go with same.
Start in Fantasyland?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So are you flying by the seat of your pants? Are you using their app?
Well, definitely using the app because I need to know how long the wait times are before I walk across the park. But yes, using the app. When I go, it's almost always September, and September is actually a low season for them. So I've been fortunate enough where the wait times usually aren't that crazy. They have, and I know you're going to ask this, and we'll go into it more later. At the time I went, they still had paper fast passes. So we utilize the paper fast passes. They don't do that anymore. So but it's a little cost prohibitive now, which we will get into. But when I had paper fast passes, we did the old school strategy. But now it's just kind of like, what do I feel like riding? How long's the wait time? Cool, let's go over there. Maybe we should meet some characters. I definitely am watching the parade. I'm definitely watching their amazing nighttime show with the drones. Have you guys seen the drones?
I mean, again, like I know there are restrictions in other places, but like that is just so like that's on the table. I want Mickey-shaped drones everywhere.
Yeah, so cool.
And it would make so much sense in California. I don't understand why they don't do it in California, because the noise ordinance in California, like it would make so much sense to do some drones.
The only thing I can think of is that there must be drone restrictions.
Boo.
Too many paparazzi trying to use those drones for no good. We just want to make Mickey faces.
Fair. That's fair. That's fair. Boo.
They ruin everything.
Yeah, they do. But there's no mobile order on the app. So one thing you do have to be mindful of, and the app helps, is what time, and this is a weird one, what time dining closes. We ran into this a couple times where we wanted to eat around like 6 and nothing was open.
Oh, why is that?
They close early for reasons unbeknownst to me. It's probably a French thing and labor, and like they just want to go home. But we could not find anywhere to eat around 6. We ended up finding one quick service location that was getting ready to close. Like 6 o'clock is a normal time to eat, especially in France. Y'all don't eat until like 10 o'clock at night.
Did they reopen?
No, like everything was closed. Like every time I've gone, I cannot get a reservation at Bistro Chez Remy past 5 p.m. because they close. That's the last reservation they take.
Wow, that's really good to know for your planning.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Disney Village, their stuff will stay open later, but for whatever reason, the stuff in the parks just doesn't stay open. But you can get a glass of champagne on Main Street.
Ooh, that's not something you can do at any other Disneyland Magic Kingdom park.
Nope.
Ooh.
The French do a lot of things right, and being able to drink on Main Street is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I don't think you can open a business in France and say you want to be dry for any part of it. So good for that.
So you're saying that I can watch the parade with some champagne in hand? Can we talk about the parade now?
Your grand finale.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. All right. So how does their parade stack up?
I would say it stacks up to a Disneyland daytime parade. Well, the old ones. I haven't seen the new one.
I think they might have upped their game over there with Magic Happens. So
yeah, so the old ones, or you know, maybe the Christmas parade, because the Christmas parade hasn't been updated since what, like 1990. It's probably along the lines of that, but they have some cool character. Like they do have the Maleficent dragon.
That's an advantage over Disneyland right now. And also, don't they still have the Main Street Electrical Parade happening during certain times of the year?
At Paris? No, not right now, because it's the 30th celebration.
Because that, speaking of the 1990s, is a parade that should come back. It's awesome.
Definitely.
I mean, Paint the Night should come back. That's what should come back. Paint the Night. But
as soon, if that ever gets announced, I'm booking my flights the next minute.
100%. I saw it one time and I'm like, I want to see it again and again, and it's so freaking good. Paint the Night is, but their parade is nice. It's they have good dancers. They have interesting, like they have a float where like the prince and princesses will be on it, and it looks like they're being pulled by a horse-drawn carriage. And then, like I said, the steampunk Maleficent dragon is in it. It's not Festival of Fantasy, but it's not the Christmas time parade at Disneyland. It's somewhere in between that, I'd say.
Okay. But Nighttime Spectacular, you think that is, you know,
it's no wishes, okay? It's no wishes.
I want to know how your Nighttime Spectaculars rank. I feel like that's an episode that we need to do.
That was a hot take there. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, Wishes was amazing. My thing is, with the Nighttime Spectacular, I liked it to tell a story. That's why I liked oh my God.
Wishes?
No, I guess why I liked Wishes, but the one at Epcot that just went away. Harmonious, because it told a story. I like to be told a story. I don't feel like Happily Ever After. It's great, but it doesn't tell a story.
What do you mean you don't love Epcot Forever?
I haven't seen it yet, so I can't say, but I haven't heard anything good about it.
I was going to say, does anyone love Epcot Forever? If you do, let us know. I want to talk to you about that.
Yes,
yeah, I feel like it's only an Epcot stand that's going to love Epcot Forever. No, but I think the fireworks show is good. The problem with the fireworks show is it's not a ton of fireworks. They do a lot of water effects. So it's very much like Disneyland, where, you know, they don't always necessarily use a lot of fireworks. I think it's a lot to do with where they are. That's not something you really do in Paris. And you know, I don't think you have this on there. Hot take: the guests at Disneyland Paris are bad. They're kind of like the guests in Asia. They're not well behaved.
Do you mean that American tourists are poorly behaved overseas? No,
I mean the overseas. Yeah, no, and the American tourists are the ones walking around going, "What are you doing?" And I don't know where they're from, because I am not gifted with the gift of being able to tell what language people are speaking. I just know it's not English. But a lot of times people would have a cast member come up to them, and the cast member would speak in French and then speak in English, and they would act like they didn't understand what they said. Whether they did or not, I don't know. But lots of times people will be standing on top of railings, standing on top of trash cans, sitting in the parade route, not respecting cast members, smoking in lines for characters and attractions. So like the guests are not very well behaved.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you not have that experience?
No. Well, you know, it's possible it was going on and I just didn't notice. Very on my own Disney bubble, you know?
Yeah, it's something I always make sure to tell my clients about, because that took me off guard, especially the smoking thing, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm an avid non-smoker. So when I'm in line to meet Aurora and I'm getting hit in the face with cigarette smoke, it's very off-putting.
I don't disagree with that. It's something though that I feel like I experience around Paris, like at large. Smoking is still, I think, more part of their culture than ours.
Yeah. But so during the fireworks, I had a perfect spot. I had a prime spot, and then someone stood on top of a trash can right in front of me. No. Stood fully on top of the trash can.
No, that's
an adult.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Any nighttime spectacular or parades at Walt Disney Studios Park, or are we just going to Disneyland Park?
They do now. They do a drone show over by Tower of Terror, and they do like an Avengers campus kind of show, but they didn't have one then. So, in 2019, no, they didn't have anything. But now I would split my time between, well, depending on what times they go. But like we've said, their drone shows are amazing. So I'm definitely going to watch both if I can.
If you can, right. Okay, so what was I just going to say? Let's talk about the equivalent of their Genie Plus, because we want to get there. Are we buying the Disney Premier Access? Are you buying the Ultimate? Are you buying the One? What's the cost?
It's expensive. I don't think I have the cost, but I gauge it on the crowd levels. I think it's like $100-something a person now, because they only have the Premier Access Pass, and it doesn't include all your rides. So it's not like
included.
What's not, most things aren't included. There's only like 6 rides that are included. Let's see.
Yeah, so low season days are currently priced at €90 a person, mid-season at 120, high season at 160, peak at 190.
Yeah.
Per person.
Per person, yeah.
And it does not include all of the attractions.
Yikes.
Yeah. So I typically don't, but I'm also not going during peak season. If you're going during a holiday, or if you're going during, summertime, maybe for one day, but not for the whole trip, because in general, Disneyland Paris does not have crazy wait times.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that sounds like good advice. When I was there, we were also still just solely on paper fast passes, so I can't totally speak to that. But that sounds like really good advice to me. And try and plan off season.
Yeah.
Christmas is gonna be it's gonna be crowded.
Yeah. And also, you don't want to be in Paris in the summertime if you can, because it's so hot.
When are we not going to Disneyland Paris? 2024 for the Olympics.
I have a client that is going, but they are going for the Olympics.
Okay.
They are going. Yeah, her thing is we're taking a trip for the Olympics, and we might as well do all this other stuff. I'm like, okay, that's fair, as long as you're aware the Olympics are cool.
This is happening. Yeah. All right. So we talked about the castle a little bit. Do we have any other notes about the castle?
No, nothing earth-shattering, other than I just feel like mentioning that the dragon is there is
not to be missed.
Yes.
Can we talk about hotels? Can we talk about where you guys, if you are planning a trip, if everything's open right now, nothing's under major renovation, where would you be staying? Where would you tell your clients to stay?
The Disneyland Hotel. Because you can look down Main Street from your room.
Amazing. Okay.
Literally.
And then what else? What's the is there an equivalent in the Walt Disney hotels or Disneyland? Sometimes there's hotels that have similar theming.
No. Especially because it's being redone and it's going to be very unique. I think it's similar to the one in Tokyo, because the Disneyland Hotel in Tokyo is similar, I think. But this one, it is connected to Disneyland. So there's not really an equivalent in the States, because we don't have any resorts that are in the park. Grand Californian is the closest that you're going to get.
Right.
But that theming is very, what would you call the theming, Abby? My brain is like not. I can see it.
Craftsman? You're thinking
No.
Grand Californian?
The Grand Californian, yeah, it's very like architectural is not the right word, but yeah.
Craftsman might be it.
Craftsman, yeah.
Craftsman, yes, thank you, Craftsman, yeah. So, but Disneyland Hotel, I feel like is maybe Grand Floridian-esque, maybe if I had to pick something. But Abby, where would you stay? Would you stay there? Or would you stay at like the Art of Marvel?
I want to stay at the Art of Marvel. I have not stayed on site, so I think just because it's the newest, I think that's where I'd like to stay right now. But you know what? When Disneyland reopens, be very psyched about that.
Yeah.
Do the hotels have similar tiers like the Walt Disney World, or they value moderate deluxe, or do they not categorize in that same way?
Essentially,
my hands are, for those listeners, my hands are going like on a scale, like maybe. So Hotel Cheyenne is like Fort Wilderness, is what I would say. No, that's Davy Crockett. Sorry, Davy Crockett is like Fort Wilderness, and I wouldn't stay there unless I absolutely had to. Cheyenne and Santa Fe are value, and they're going to be like Art of Animation. Sequoia, I would say it's like Wilderness Lodge, but a moderate Wilderness Lodge.
Okay.
And then Newport Bay is like the Yacht and Beach Club, but a deluxe moderate version of
The hybrid.
Yeah. And then Hotel New York, contemporary, maybe?
yeah.
Yeah.
Seems fair.
Yeah. And the Davy Crockett one is not on the bus system either. So like lots of reasons why I don't recommend it, but that's one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And any dining at the hotels? I know we touched on that briefly, but any must-dos like at the hotels or outside of, outside of dining, what would you do at the hotels? Pools on site, every hotel?
Nothing.
Nothing.
They all have a restaurant, and the only one I would say is worth mentioning as of today is the Manhattan at the Art of Marvel Hotel. But all the other ones, like Disneyland, does not prioritize food.
Okay.
Sorry.
Speaking of food, so I feel like we're on like a little bit of a womp womp. I was trying to figure out what the equivalent to the Disneyland's churro and Walt Disney World's Dole Whip, but it sounds like maybe there isn't.
No, you can get crepes.
Yes.
Okay.
And here's a fun fact: kettle corn, the caramel popcorn, that did not exist in American Disney. That started in Disneyland Paris.
Oh,
That is a fun fact, actually. Yeah. So the champagne, which we talked about, I feel like that needs its own moment. And then you can get crepes, and then apparently kettle popcorn.
nice.
I don't think they have Dole Whip.
No.
No.
Do they have popcorn buckets?
Yes. But they're not even close to our popcorn buckets. They're definitely not Tokyo level popcorn buckets. I think theirs is more like the regular circular ones, cylinder ones.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any extras that we're doing in the parks? VIP tours, any like other special tours, behind the scenes tours, anything like that?
I don't think they have any tours, but they do have a really cool show that you can get reserved seating for, Rhythm of the Pride Lands. That's a really good show. And then during the fall, they have a mini food and wine festival.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's perfect. I was just going to ask you about festivals.
Yes, for sure. They did the food and wine. We were there for the food and wine festival, and it was weird because it was like real international food, not the Americanized version of said international food. So it was weird, but we had a good time, and there was of course wine everywhere. But it's a lot smaller. It's like 10. It's like, I guess, the size of the one in California. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's at Walt Disney Studios.
And any holiday themed events or celebrations?
I mean, they'll do the holidays, they'll do Halloween, they'll do Pride, they do Christmas, but nothing to the extent of Walt Disney World. It's more similar to Disneyland where they'll have like decorations and they'll have a special parade and merchandise and stuff like that, but they don't have any after hours events for sure. They don't do any festivals or anything like that.
Okay. And so to end our conversation, I was wondering if we can talk about the 30th anniversary and the grand finale and just all the things that are especially going on this year as they're celebrating.
Yeah, and that's ending really soon because I have a client going in November and she's not going to get any of that, but they have let's see. Where is hold on. I have all of this. I didn't have it on hers because it's 30th anniversary and she's not going to be there for 30th anniversary. I'm cheating and looking at an itinerary.
Yeah.
Let's pull it up. Abby, do you know any off the top of your head?
Not off the top of my head either. I have clients going in December, so same thing.
Hold on. They have special character costumes, which are amazing. The drone show is special for the 30th anniversary, so that is uniquely 30th anniversary.
I feel like that's around in some shape or form.
I hope so too.
I hope so too, because that drone show is amazing. Let's see. Hold on, I've got one. Sorry, I should have known you were going to ask me about the 30th anniversary and I wasn't prepared. Okay, anniversary merchandise, Disney Delight, first ever drone show, Garden of Wonder, special sculptures found around the parks, specialty food and drinks, which is special champagne and things like that. The character costumes I mentioned, Mickey and the Magician show is amazing. Another one you can reserve seating to, highly recommend. The Avenger campus or Marvel campus was technically kicked off with the 30th anniversary, so that was part of it. And that's it. They don't do it as, I kind of feel like they did it better than Walt Disney World's 50th, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And the drone show, the cool Mickey 30, that's part of the drone thing. And, you know, as you all know, with the 50th anniversary for Walt Disney World, all we got was basically the decorations on the castle and those gold statues.
Which, by the way, the decorations may be gone, but those statues are around. So I don't know what that'll mean for the drone show, but
yeah. So like, I feel like Disneyland Paris did way more, and it's a smaller park. But it's also interesting to note, and the, you know, history of Disneyland, I don't know who's all interested in that, but Disney actually did not have a majority stake in the park until like 2015 or 2016. So the only reason we're seeing a lot of this cool stuff now is because Disney got back the majority stake in it. So the special merchandise, the Avengers campus, keeping the parks clean, that only started happening when Disney got the majority stake in the company.
True.
Which is weird to think about, but
yeah, kind of like the Asia parks.
Yes, but at least Tokyo takes like super pride in their parks and does things that I wish we would do here in America. I can't say the same thing about Shanghai and Hong Kong, but Tokyo takes it very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We didn't really talk about anything at Walt Disney Studios Park, though.
No, we didn't really. So what's your favorite ride over there? That's true. We didn't really go over there.
Oh, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
Okay, Abby?
Well, yes, Remy's, it was my favorite ride, but now we have it at Disney World.
Yes, but it's the original.
Okay, I'll give you that. So I'm gonna go with same. When I first rode that, I was like, oh my God, this ride is like maybe the best thing ever.
It's so cool. Did you ride Crush's Coaster?
Yes, that is a good ride too. I'm still going.
Tower of Terror, the same, different?
You know I'm not riding that.
It's a bit different, but not enough different to like write home about.
Okay.
And they actually rethemed their Rock and Roller Coaster to be an Avengers ride now.
Yes, I know, which that is actually what sparked a lot of rumors around the Walt Disney World version when it was under for refurbishment.
Yeah, but well, they can't do it at Walt Disney World.
No, they can't do Avengers, but the rumor was that they were going to move away from Aerosmith.
Well, that is probably a good idea. But They also, I don't know. Oh, I think they closed it, but no, they did close it because they're opening a Frozen area at Walt Disney Studio that's under construction right now. And it used to be Lights, Cars, Motors, Action, which I loved and came over to Hollywood Studios as part of the global celebration they did years ago. I loved that. I also love car chases and stunt shows, so it was like all of my favorite things in one. But it's gone now. R.I.P. But Walt Disney Studios Park is definitely a half-day park for sure. So that's why Abby and I both say if you only have one day, you can make it work. You are going to be running around like a crazy person, and then 100% we recommend the Premier Pass because that's the best way to get everything done. If you only have one day, but 2 days or even 2.5 days, love that.
Any other attractions that you want to make note of for the Walt Disney Studios Park?
I don't think so, other than just not a note in a good way, a note in a neutral way. Their Toy Story area is not the same as the Toy Story area at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, I was looking. Toy Story Playland, right?
It's very much like It's a Bug's Life area at California Adventure.
R.I.P.
I never got to experience it, so Abby will have to tell us about all of that.
Look, Cars Land was a major improvement. The whole thing is a major improvement.
Well, there you go. So yeah, the rides that they have there are not like Slinky Dog Dash, Toy Story Midway Mania. They're not. They're very like basic rides.
Any like unique characters that you can't find anywhere in the U.S.?
I think they do a decent job of having rotating unique characters, but they're not really on a schedule, so you don't really know if you'll see them or not. But I do like the 30th anniversary outfits. They're really amazing. But it's not like a Tokyo. Tokyo, like I said, Tokyo is on another level with all this stuff. They do have character meet and greets, but I would not say it's superior to Disneyland California. It's not on par. It's better than Walt Disney World, not as good as Disneyland California. Right? Don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, in conclusion, call one of us. We can book you to Disneyland Paris. There is so much to see.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that rundown of all of the parks.
Yeah, I hope we got you excited for your own visit. Disneyland Paris is definitely a must-do, especially if you're going to Paris. Like we've said, it's not very far away. If you're any type of Disney fan, you need to go. You went all the way to Paris. You gotta do it. It's like going all the way to Tokyo and not going to Tokyo Disney.
No, you can't do that either.
No, you can't do that either. 100%. But I love Disneyland Paris. My husband and I were actually going to go again next year. I was talking to him. I'm booking enough Paris where I feel like we need to go back. So I really don't need an excuse to go back to Paris. So that's what our big plan, our trip is for next year.
Ooh.
Abby, you need to take the kids.
I think we will. We're gonna figure out when to go.
And y'all are super close to New York, so you can get a faster flight than me.
We got that.
Yes. Well, any other hot takes, last minute notes we want to talk about for Disneyland Paris?
No, just call your favorite Alonzi travel agent.
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We can't wait to book your trip to Disneyland Paris or anywhere in Europe. And until next time, we will talk to you soon.
Bye, guys. Bye.